Welcome back to Horse Racing Today with yours truly. And of course, we are with terrific Terry Hollywood. Hey, after a unintended hiatus yesterday, I had planned on doing the Amelia Earhart Go Solo show, but unfortunately, the calendar collided and you had to pick a choice. And well, all those races in that Florida Derby coming up, I had to really get the popping on that official Florida wagering guide. Just about done. A little bit of tidying up today, cleaning out a couple of scratches, and then all that'll be available a little bit later on today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link in the description down there below. You can also get yourself some free picks today for Sunland Park. Of course, free picks there every single day. Oof, Terry, did you miss me yesterday?
I sure did, yeah.
I think that's probably not true, but based upon our payouts yesterday at Guaranteed Tip Sheet from our picks for Gulfstream Park, kind of wish we had a show. We had a huge day over there. So let's see if we can follow that up today. And of course, importantly, on Saturday with the Florida Derby. And, you know, if you're a big Kentucky Derby fan, that's probably the key race there. I know Mage came out of there, Epicenter last year, some of the best horses. And in the absence of Bob Baffert, those Florida horses tend to be the ones you kind of want to keep an eye on now. I'll do a little report on that in the not-too-distant future. Before we report on that, Terry, let's report on race number 1 at Gulfstream Park today.
All right, we sure will. And this race starts out at a distance of 1.16 miles on an all-weather track. $8,000 claiming race, purse $22,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, the 1.16 miles distance on that all-weather. Favors horses that stock, although 1 out of 5 do manage to win gate to wire. Post positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Really not a big deal or difference between any of them. So no deal makers or breakers there. But you do get hit pretty hard if you wear the 8 or out. In the first race, not such a problem. 1,000 or 10,000 simulations, Terry, where we look for horses that have simulated odds that are below the post-time odds, looking for some value. And then we also have par plus. What chance the horse has an opportunity to run a speed figure above, in this case, 73. 10,000 simulations as well, looking to see which horse has the best shot to be on the lead, Terry. And then according to our projected pace, how likely this race is to put the horse in its comfort zone or match its best performances. The higher the number, the better. Terry, what do you see?
Well, that one horse shows the most speed, although that 4 could have something to say about it. And then 1 has an overlay of about 4 to 5 to 2 to 1. The 1 and the 4 have the only par plus numbers that we see, and all of them have some kind of C-zone numbers.
So you want to pick 4, Pedris. We're going to give you pick 4s in all of the races today, thanks to a request by Don Johnson. So you can count on that in race number 2 and in race number 6. Terry and I
5.
both have a 5. Yeah, excuse me. It's only an 8 race card today. Confusion. So race number 5. Along with our simulations, we do some trip handicapping. You can see there are real no front runners up in here. So everybody kind of wants to be middle or back. So far, the 6, Fantastica, hasn't been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. Early on, in a short field, speed can be a difference maker. A lot of times, horses that win their maiden races do tend to be forwardly placed. The 1, 3, and 7 will duke it out. So it'll be pretty close between that trio. Of those, it does look like the 1 has the most late speed, to be joined by Pime Nova at the end there. A little bit of a gap down. Your top total pace horse in here, Terry, is the 1 horse. 9 points clear of the next closest one, anonymous sources. Usually in that case, Terry, the 1 could be a very difficult one to beat. Close to the front, top last pace, as much late pace as anybody, and 10 points clear of the next closest horse. You think the 4 will get it done?
Yeah, I think that 4 might just beat that 1, Prime Nova. She's finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the Night Saber, the 1 is my second choice. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race, has the highest last race speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Anonymous Source, the 3, is my 3rd pick, has a good workout on March 20th. And then 7, Chilling Factor, is my long shot Her only win is at Gulfstream Park, and no bet for me in this race except for our normal $2 to win on our first choice, $1 exacta box on our first two, a 50-cent trifecta box on our first three choices, and then a 10-cent superfecta box on our first four choices.
I think the one horse, as we said, tied for the most early speed, has the most late speed. Short field, should be forwardly placed. Did run better fractions last time out and is making the classic third start after a layoff. So I expect the best possible performance from Night Saber. Prime Nova has the most backclass, so I don't think that's questionable in here. Should be closing. But in the second race after a layoff, this horse tends to regress. So maybe not as good as last time out, or breaks the trend, one or the other. Number 3, Anonymous Source. Unlike the 4 horse, Terry, Anonymous Source generally goes forward in the second start after a layoff. Does have a solid workout between races to keep the saw sharp, in the words of Stephen Covey. And then number 6, Fantastica. This one's been closing and also been closer to hitting par for this level than the 7 by a pretty wide gap. It also has much higher odds right now, 30-1 morning line odds versus 15-1. And the post time odds right now, it is the longest shot on the board at 26-1. The 1 and the 4 are tied at 1-1, and then everybody else is over. Well, the 7 horse is 6-1. That's the third choice. So it looks to me, right, maybe the 3 horse in here, Terry, might be the value play if there's such a thing.
Yeah.
And it looks like right now the 1 horse, the odds are 4-5 according to ours. So maybe a little bit of value in that as they meander around the track as they do in South Florida before the races. I'd like to go on to race number 2, but I don't think we're going to get enough time to do that, Terry. Okay. I will be back tomorrow with 22-1 Tom, probably later in the afternoon, early evening, 6:30 p.m., I think, Eastern, maybe a little bit earlier than that if a couple of things break my way, as we will be discussing some really big races in Dubai for the Dubai World Cup. To make sure you don't miss any of that, kindly hit the subscribe button while you're on YouTube. Another good thing you can do is interact with us with comments, likes, thumbs up, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're watching on Twitter, kindly retweet so people can watch us as well. Follow us there, of course. And then if you're watching on YouTube, hit the share, copy that link, and share it with your friends across all of your social media sites. So they are starting to find their way to the gate, Terry. Right now, it is looking sunny there, but you can see some clouds and wind. I know the forecast is expecting some rain at some point, but what's new in Florida?
Okay, the horse analyst, he says, good morning, first Gulfstream Park Grace. He said, everyone to play the 4 with Irad Ortiz Jr., the machine. So, and then this
Jose Manuel Camacaro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He said, you tie the legs of 1, so that doesn't win.
Yeah, well, let's see if the 1's legs are tied.
Yeah, well.
As they go into the gate. Well, pretty soon we'll hear the great call of our good friend Peter Aiello, and the 1 horse has indeed gone out to the lead, and pretty easily jockey got the lead and then settled his horse down. The 4's to the outside. The 7, Chilling Factor, could have a difficult trip. Right now 3 wide for the first turn. Down on the rail, perhaps the value horse in the race, the 3 horse, which is Anonymous Source, and in the back of the pack, the 6 horse. Really not a big gap from the nose of the 1 to the tail of the 6, probably around 3 horses. They go through the opening quarter in a pretty slow 25 seconds. So the 1 horse does have that late speed, and his legs are not tied together. Has every reason to win this race. Well, the 4 horse has decided the pace might be a little bit too slow, so he's making the 1 quicken. The 7 right now continues to run in third with the 3 on the rail. The horse in the back is indeed the 6 horse, but really anybody's race to win at this point. They went through the second half in 49 and 24, so they picked it up a little bit. The 1 and the 4 continue to slug it out. Really no change in the order. The 1 that's trying to make up ground right now is the 7. 3 horse still has a good hold. The 1 horse jockey hasn't asked anything out of his horse yet. The 4 horse has decided to put the pressure on the 1 horse. Those 2 continue to rally. It does look like the 1-horse jockey did ask his horse to make a move right now. The 4-horse still with some horse left, as he has not asked his horse to run. The horse that might run them all down here at the end, though, looks to 7. They haven't tied together the one's legs, but it sure looks like they did at the end because he just stopped running. Here comes the 7-horse. It's going to go 7, 4, 4, 7, 3, then 6 and 1. No idea what happened with that 1-horse there. Really slow fractions. We usually go about, and he went off at 3 to 5. Don't know what Tyler Gaffleone was doing there. My guess is the horse maybe got hurt, because those slow fractions, there's really no excuse for what happened there. I would keep an eye out to see if that horse goes to the sidelines. If not, we usually have horses to watch. And in this case, that would be a horse not to watch. On to race number 2, Mr. Terry. What's cooking there?
Okay, in race number 2, we go in a mile, and we're going to go a mile on the turf. And it's a maiden optional claiming, $50,000, $50,000 purse. It's for maidens, fillies, 3-year-olds, Florida bred, or maiden claiming, price of $50,000.
And right now, the races are indeed on the turf. The turf is listed as firm if they do run on the turf, stalkers. So you want to be in the front half of the field. Usually do pretty well. The rail is pretty bad, so Star Performance will need a Star Performance to likely overcome the bias there. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 a small bonus. 8 and out is fair. So really it looks like the only place where the race is impacted is that rail. Here we have, again, 10,000 simulations to work off for race number 2. Tell race number 2 story with this deep field.
Yeah, well, it looks like to me that the 8 and the 5 might go head-to-head, although several of these horses show some kind of speed. And then the 7 has a very small overlay from 7.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from, that's about 7 to 5 to 5 to 1. And the 11 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 15 to 1. And then several of these horses also have par plus numbers, such as the 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11. And then all but the 5, 7, 8, and 11 show pretty decent C zones.
Yeah, and looking at the just some of these numbers here on these par plus numbers, again, the 2-horse Lady O'Brien showing a 65% chance to maybe run a speed figure of 74 or more. As far as our trip handicapping is concerned, it is a big race. The 9 is making its first start, so Tres Leches, 3 milks. Great cake if you haven't had it. Give it a try. Great Mexican delight. 2, 6, and 11. Those 3 are going to be front runner types. So the question is, are any of them going to be up front? Does look like the 5-horse over here might be the quickest, Tinta Roja. So that one could be a left arrow horse if it can withstand the fact that it hasn't been within 5 lengths of the leader. The 1, 4, 10, and 12 want to be in the middle. Looks like they might be in the middle, but probably a little bit more back than they want to be. The 2 closers, the 7 and the 8, Terry, those 2. Well, the 7 looks like it has the most late speed of those 2, although the 8 should be considerably in front of it. If the 7 is anywhere close coming out of the turn, that's a pretty aggressive late pace advantage, putting it within the top 4. But this looks like after these 6, 7, and 8 horses, after that, it's pretty wide open, Terry. It looks like an open race to me. Somehow we landed on the first 2 to be the same.
Yeah, I like Lady O'Brien. She finished 3rd versus Tupper in her last race, drops in class today. Her best start speed or turf speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days have finished in the money 5 out of 6 starts, winning 2 of those. Parallel the 6 is my second choice. Ran 2nd versus similar on an all-weather track in her last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 20% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And then Vibrant Lady, the 7, my third choice, finished 3rd versus similar on an all-weather track in her only start. Her breeding suggests she will like the grass, as her dam has 2 winners from 4 starters and a turf winner. And then the 11's my long shot. She's been claimed in 4 races in a row. So many trainers see potential here. And she has finished in the money in 4 of the last 5 races and has a good 3 furlong workout on March 22nd. I'm going to play 50-cent Don Johnson, pick 4 of the 2-6 with the 5-6 with the 4-7 with the 2-3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. $24 cost.
$24 cost. I'm going to start with the 262 as well as you. That's my Dr. Seuss. Unintentional, but nonetheless, you can put on the cat in the hat. Lady O'Brien did run the top last race speed figure, 6 points clear of everybody else. Going to drop in class. Usually that's more than enough to get the W. We'll see if that works out today. Last time finished second at this level. Again, another hint that the horse should compete admirably here. Number 6, Parallel. This one does have a couple of seconds in a pair of races on the Gulfstream grass, provided it stays there. You have Irad taking over for Paco. I don't know if that's an upgrade or not, but definitely both aggressive riding styles. So I'm not quite sure how to categorize that one. Number 8, Baby Blocks. This is a left arrow horse, one that we mentioned that likes to close usually, but does have enough early speed to move its way forward today. It's also the top total pace horse, and those horses tend to win it about 30% of the time. What I like about the fact that the horse will be forwardly placed is that it's stretching out for the first time, and a lot of times those horses get to the lead, get comfortable, and they don't give it up. And finally, the 7-horse Vibrant Lady. Any improvement from its debut will put this horse in contention. The only question is, how will it take to grass for the first time? I'm going to do a pick 4 too. I'm going to go 2, 6, 7, 8 over to 5, 6 over to 6, 7 over to 2, 4, 7. But really, I feel like in the next 3 races, you could probably single up a horse in every single one and still have a good shot at winning. I'm afraid if things don't go the right way, you could end up winning but still losing money.
Yeah, that's true.
Race number 3, Terry, what's that story about?
All right, in race number 3, we're going to shorten up to 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather track. It's an $8,000 claiming race, $22,000 purse for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
Let's see. To collect, very easy for Irad, and I pay a lot more, like $4.60. Yeah, pretty easy race. I would like to see if something happened to that one horse, because he just backed straight up. And really, if you watch the race, Tyler Gaffalione gave him 1 crack, and he didn't crack him anymore. So I wonder if indeed there was something that went wrong. Those fractions were just way too slow for the horse to back up like that. Race number 3, we have our 5.5 furlong affair. The profile of a winner on that one does favor early speed 45% of the time. The horse that gets to the lead keeps the lead and then poses for a photo at the end. The rail is fair, so Smoking Cloud might be able to outrun 15-1 odds. Post 2 and 3, they're a little bit more difficult. Through 4 and out, there is a bonus with an inside out. So the closer you are to the rail, the better from out there, Terry. So speed could be a big factor, will be a big factor in race 3, Terry. So who has the most of it?
Well, the 5 shows the most speed in here, as you can see, and quite a bit of speed. There's a couple others that have some minor amount of speed. But anyway, the 1 has an overlay from 10.5 to 1 to 15 to 1. The 5 shows the only par plus number, and all of them has some kind of a C-zone number.
Yeah, I mean, you got a green go horse here across the board. Second best C-zone, by far the most early speed, where early speed wins about half of the time. The only par plus, and even an overlay, according to the morning line of 3 to 5 versus 1 to 2 in there. Let's see if that 5 horse anybody has some advantage over that 5. The 5 wants to be on the front along with the 4, so maybe if the 4 can beat it to the front, could be some problems. The 2 and 6 want to press. Maybe the 1 as the lone closer if it has an aggressive late edge, but it really doesn't. Early on, very competitive for everybody out of the gates there, Mr. Terry. Only 5 points separating first from worst. So maybe they can put a lot of pressure on that big early favorite. As far as your late speed, there's that favorite again, although Gone Nuts won't be all that far off. The other 3 are pretty far back. So according to this, the 5 should get out with the 6 perhaps running third. The 6 closes past some tiring legs. The 5 goes wire to wire. And then it's anybody's guess who finishes for third. What do you think?
Well, I think that 5 is going to do that, and Jeopard is my first choice. One ran second versus similar in his last race. Best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Go Nuts, the 6, as you talked about, is my second choice. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the sprint races he runs a horse in and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. The 4 horse is my third choice. His only win is at today's distance and at Gulfstream Park. And 2 Exalted Charms, my long shot. He trains, his trainer wins 13% of the claiming races as an entry in, and the blinkers are added today. And no additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start with the 5 horse. And really, my comment is it's really kind of hard to see how this one loses. But a lot of times they finish second. So maybe do if you like another one as much or close to it, maybe do an exacta, backdoor exacta with your favorite pick over that 5. The 6 horse Gone Nuts, maybe this one can get to the lead and upset the big favorite with the late legs on par with the 5 horse. Smoking Cloud, consistent performer, really, for Smoking Cloud. It's going to be the longest shot on the board in the 5 horse race. Steve Fiedler, who wins a lot of contests, says that's the horse to play, the longest shot in the 5 horse race. Well, we'll go along with that. Also has some giddy up and go when the gates open. And then the 4 horse Akamar did show some improved early pace in its last race. Really didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on comments for the other horses because I feel like the 5 horse can just probably consider this a workout and still win. What do you think?
Yeah.
Who gives me one for the 3rd at Gulfstream, but I won't win. Doesn't matter what I pay. I want to play a $50 bill. On which one? The 1 horse? That's what you want to go with? I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think that one in the 3rd race.
Yeah, he wants somebody to give him a pick in the 3rd race. So
doesn't matter what I pay. I want to play a $50. I mean, in the 3rd race, it looks like the 5 horse should win, but I think it's not a smart $50 bet because in all likelihood, that horse is going to go off at 1 to 5, 2 to 5, somewhere in there. Terry, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't. For me, I wouldn't bet $50. I wouldn't. Just too much. Too many times the 2 to 5, 1 to 5 get beat. So
well, you just don't get a good reward for it. That's
you don't.
The bottom
No.
line. No,
you're risking a lot for very little.
Correct. So, I would look to go somewhere else where maybe there's a good favorite that's not going to be, or a horse that you feel really confident in that's not going to be so low of odds. Maybe we'll find one of those in race number 4, Terry.
Yeah, you might just do that. So this is 5 furlongs, all-weather race, and it's let's see, it's a maiden claiming race of $25,000 and the purse $32,000 for maidens, fillies, 3-year-olds.
Yeah, and at 5 furlongs on the synthetic, you better have some early speed. 40% of the time, they do go wire to wire. There's a little bit of a rail bonus for Revolu. 2 and 3 get discounted a touch. 4 through 7 play fair. If you're on the outside, Buffalo Girl, and 8 or out in race number 4, you got a solid chance in this race. There are 8 horses, but the one outside doesn't have much speed. All of that, Terry, is to the inside.
Yeah, most of them show some kind of speed, but that 3 shows the most, along with the 2 and the 1, and then also the 7 on the outside. The 2 has an overlay of 2 to 1 to 8 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay of 3 to 1 to 6 to 1. 7, 2, and 5 show the only par plus numbers, and all but the 6 have some C-zone numbers.
Yeah, and then again, there's a lot of green and red in here. Maybe a little bit more open race. We'll see if that's how it plays out than the last one. In race number 4, the 1 horse, Revolu, if it can get to the lead, take advantage of that rail speed. It could be a lone speed type horse there. Everybody wants those. The 3 and the 6, maybe you can X those out. You could Twitter them out. They haven't been within 5 lengths, a handful of lengths of the winner when they take the photo. 8, 7, 2, 4, and 5, I all prefer to be middle back. So a little bit of early speed can go a long way in a 5 furlong race. Collected Dreams, the 2 horse, along with Eligio, they have the most early speed. So closers that want to go forward, Terry, they have a good time. They're about a length quicker than everybody else, and that 1 horse does have ability to contend for the lead, so maybe gets out to the front. As far as your late speed is concerned, Travel Happy, 5 points clear. Smart Jenny, Won't be all that far off the lead, but the 4 will be a little bit farther back. There's that Collected Dreams, the left arrow horse, going to move forward in there, Terry. Our top total pace, we have a duo, 7 and the 2 that are 10 points clear of the 4, and that one's 5 points clear. So maybe 7-2 over 4-5, and then whatever else you want in there, Terry.
Yeah, that's true. I like that 7 Travel Happy. Finished third versus similar. Her only start has the highest last speed rating, and her best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with another. Smart Jenny, the 4, is my second choice. She ran second versus similar in the last race. She has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 2, Collected Dreams, my third pick, finished third versus Tupper in her last race and drops a class today. Revolu, the 1 is my long shot, ran second in her last race, and the Rail Post is winning at a 19% clip. Just the normal bets that we do on each one of these races today. So no
For
addition.
me, I'm going to also start with the 7. It's a good place to begin, I feel like. Travel Happy. That's another one, Terry, that really, if it improves any from its debut, and a couple of workouts say that it should be at least as fit, maybe more fit. But if it improves from its debut, it's kind of hard to see any of the other ones in here beating it. So it's going to have to regress a little bit. I'm going to take a flyer with my second pick, Lady Oak Ridge, the 6 horse. This one's making its second career start. And then since then, it's done some workouts on February the 10th and the 17th. Those workouts suggest to me that maybe we didn't see the best of Lady Oak Ridge in its debut, and maybe there's a big race coming at a big price. Number 4, Smart Jenny gets the third call. 2 best races by far were on the synthetic surface. Not sure, though, closing is the best way to win at the 5 furlong distance. But a second, just by a half a length last time out at this level. Our good friend Chris Parmalou's favorite handicapping angle, maidens that finished second in their prior start only need to beat 1 horse in the next race. That's the thinking there. And then finally, the 2 horse Collected Dreams. That is that left arrow horse that we've talked about. Has exactly the same total pace there as the 7 in there. So perhaps could be on the lead and close the race out. Again, Terry mentioned no bets from me here because I'm just going to do the standard win, exacta, trifecta, superfecta wagering. We have about 15 minutes, Terry, it looks like, to race number 2. So who knows? We might be done with the card by then. Race number 5.
Okay. It's a 5 furlongs. It's on the turf. It's $50,000 claiming race, purse $39,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
5 furlongs on the giddy up and go grass. As you can imagine, Terry also favors horses that are fast, especially when the gates open. They get boogieing. 45% of the time, they boogie right on in to the winner's circle. There's a rail bonus, but Fast Motion won't be riding the rail. Drum Roll will sort of assume that role. 2 and 3, a little bit of a penalty. So the move inside could actually benefit Drum Roll. 4 through 7 gets a bonus. 8 and out gets discounted, Terry. So get me some speed for race number 5.
Well, it's really anybody's guess who's going to get there first. The 3, 5, and 2 show pretty similar speed amounts. And then the 4 has an overlay from 3-1 to 7-2. And the 7 has an overlay from, that's about 1-2 to 2-1. All of it, the 5 show some kind of par numbers. And all of the horses have some kind of C zones.
Yeah, I'm interesting. 100% chance that the 7 horse Euphema is going to run a speed figure of at least 77. I don't know that there's 100% anything in horse racing, but we'll see if indeed it does when the numbers come out later on today. Everybody wants to be front or middle, Terry. The 1 horse in here that's unlike the others is Love Mommy Love, the 6 horse. All these other guys go too fast. It runs by at the end, perhaps. Looking at that early speed, we do have Bossy Diva, the speed of the speed. Delta Charm right in there too. Minus Drum Roll, everybody really has a chance to be up on the front. Our top late speed horse is Wise and Elegant, a couple of steps quicker than Love Mommy Love. Drum Roll right there. Euphema, a little bit of a tailing off there. And then at the end of the race, Mr. Terry, does look like Love Mommy Love is the top total pace horse, along with Wise and Elegant. A little bit of a drop off to the next 2 down in there. So perhaps 4, 6, and a little bit of something else afterwards.
Yeah, I like the 6, Love Mommy Love. She's finished in the money in 5 of the last 6 races. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park and at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like number 2, Drumroll. Ran second versus similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. The 4, Wise and Elegance, my third choice. She finished third versus similar in her last race, and the distance won't be a problem. And then I like as my long shot, Delta Charm. Drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 4, 5, 6 with the 5, 6 with the 4, 5, 6, 7 with the 4, 6, 9. That's a $48 cost.
Let's see. As far as newspapers, so you can get them, Jose, in the newspaper. The best place to get, because you're asking about where can you see the career performances of Aqueduct. So the best place to see horses that have past performances, I use Brisnet, but there's also DRF, so brisnet.com. That's the place you can go ahead. I think it's $3 for the past performances for each track, or you can do a monthly subscription. I think it's like $75, something like that. So it's not all that expensive. For me, Terry, I'm going to go with the 7 horse, and here is my top pick. Kind of scares me that you don't have them at all, but to me, this looks like another one of those horses that's going to have to really back up for the other ones to beat it. It did run the top last race speed figure last time, 7 points clear of any other horse. Again, Andrew Beyer says when they're 3 points or better, you better keep a good eye on that horse. Number 2, Drumroll, just missed at this level in its last race. Has 4 really solid workouts since then. Number 4, Wise and Elegant. It's going to drop from a $100,000 non-graded stakes horse race. Will be on the gas from go. Love Mammy Love does look like it likes the distance, likes the surface, and likes the track. Seems to be a good fit for all of the above. I don't have your top pick and my pick 4, and you don't have my top pick and your pick 4. So if one of our top picks wins, we're both in trouble. 2, 4, 7 over to 5, 6, over to 4, 5, over to 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12. I'm hoping it doesn't go chalky through the first 3 races, and then maybe it can catch an off-guard horse in there somewhere and then pick a bomb at the end. That's my thinking in here, Terry. We have how long to race number 2?
About 4 minutes.
Yeah, but they're never right about that.
Yeah.
So race number 6 is on our docket for right now.
All right, so let's go up here with that race number 6, and this race is going to start out at. Oops, I missed here. Wait a minute. It's a mile. It's an optional claiming race for $75,000 claiming price. If you elect put your horse in there to maybe be claimed, purse $91,000, and then it's for 3-year-olds which have never won a race other than maiden claiming starter or restricted, or which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $75,000.
Yes, and the par speed figure in here being 90. So keep an eye on that when you do your handicapping. As far as our race simulations for the 6th race, and we're looking for in this particular spot at 1 mile on the dirt course. Again, keep in mind that it's a 1 mile. That's also a 1-turn mile. So they tend to act more like sprints than they do routes. Speed does have an advantage. 25% of the time, it does go wire to wire, Terry. The inside 3 horses have a little bit of a bonus. 4 and out, they are discounted, but the closer to the rail, to the better. So in race number 6, if you got some giddy up and go early on, you have a pretty good chance to get the job done. One of them looks like it's a bit quicker than the others.
That's right. That 4 shows lots of speed. Should get out of that gate and get to that quarter pole first, but I think it's going to burn out. So anyway, the 5 has got an overlay from, just about 3 to 5, 4 to 5 to 4 to 1. And the 6 has an overlay from, no, it don't have an overlay.
No, it's a big, it's way overpriced.
I'm sorry. Okay, the par number on that is what I was trying to say. Yeah, it has a really nice par number. And then all but the 4 shows some really nice C-zone numbers.
Pace handicapping tells us that everybody wants to be middle back here, Terry. So get to the front. Maybe you got a pretty good chance here. One of them is a lot faster than everybody else. Turn up the trees. So if that one can get out, run slow fractions, and have something not go wrong in the course of the race, could control the pace from beginning to end. If not, Knight's Bridge will be bearing down on it very hard at the end, and it's probably going to be sitting in the co-pilot seat all the way around the track, and then use those late legs to blow on by at the end. That one does have a 12-point total pace advantage over Turn Up the Tree. So it looks like the 6-horse wins this race, Terry, and does so perhaps with ease, although the 4-horse, if it can run proper fractions, might be able to go wire to wire. How do you see it playing out?
I like Knightbridge, the 6. He won his debut race at Churchill Downs and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a bullet workout on March 23rd. So a lot of boxes not marked off. Then the 5C streak is my second choice, finishing the money in 4 out of the last 5 races. Drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey. The 4 Turn Up the Trees is my third choice, finished 7th in his last race after having major problems, but won the race before. May improve while returning to dirt, and a longer distance should help as he has a high percentage winning trainer. 2 is my long shot speed control, won his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. And this trainer wins 30% of all the races in the first race after this trainer claims a horse. No additional bets in here for me.
So I think this is another one of these, Terry, the 6-horse that. Quite frankly, if it runs its race, as we see on the Par Plus, I think it could be really difficult for any of the other horses to beat this one, especially if it improves from its debut. But if there's any regression off the debut, that's how the other ones will get it. C Streak drops from the Grade 3 Holy Bull, where it ran a decent race. They put it into the contention to go to the Kentucky Derby. March 3rd had to work out 4 furlongs of 46-3. Gets first-time Lasix too, so maybe this is the one that can overcome the 6-horse. Turn Up the Trees, debuted on the dirt, won with ease. Terry has that early pace advantage over everybody else. Try Turf, that didn't work out so good. Back to dirt, and has a few bullet workouts on dirt prepping for today. And then finally, the 1-horse, the 2-horse, numbers are better than the 2s with the 1 anyway at higher odds, but I don't think really any one of them is going to win this race. So take the 1, 2, put them in an exacta box, folks. So I just dissed the 2 of them, and that means they'll make me look bad. Let's see what's cooking here. Grade 3, let's go. Yeah, I think maybe that Grade 3 drop on the Holy Bull could be the way. So race number 2, they're crossing over the track. I don't know what's going on right now, but it's telling me I can't watch the race. No, I got it now. My internet at times is kind of funny. So in race number 2, where we're about to go, really no favorite in this one, Terry. The 2-horse right now is your favorite, and that's your favorite at 3-1. Your 6 is your next favorite. I don't know, the 4-horse is your next favorite. That one is 7-2, one that neither of us has. It's Satisfactual, down from 6-1 morning line. Then up next on the odds board is the 6-horse at 7-2. Then the 7-horse at 5-1. Then looks like the 8-horse at 9-1. Everybody else kind of high odds in here. And, basically the bettors are telling you this is a race where just about anybody could win. Based upon our fair value odds, it looks to me like the 8-horse would be the one you want to bet because it's an overlay from the morning line. It's an overlay from our simulation odds, as is the 11-horse. The 11-horse Bon Monte, the 15-1 morning line odds, 18-1 now, and our simulation odds say maybe it's a fair bet all the way down to 3-1. So a 8-11 exacta box for $2, considering those odds, might be something well worth taking a gamble on, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the 2-horse continues to be the one that takes all the money. They're kind of loading them in inside out, so tough to tell how many horses are left to go in, but they're all going in pretty easily. It is becoming considerably more overcast there. The shadows are gone, so I would expect or not be at all surprised that later in the day, if the 5 furlong turf race doesn't make its way to the all-weather track. Again, big day on Saturday at Gulfstream Park. We will have the wagering guide and all of our picks probably up tomorrow morning for the Florida Derby. Last year's Kentucky Derby winner ran there in Mage. I do think that it is of the prep races probably one of the few that you really want to concentrate on if you're trying to find the 2024 Kentucky Derby winner, or at least some of the main contenders. I think the horse that wins that race has a pretty good shot to be the favorite on at least in the next futures pool and the morning line favorite. So they're off and running in race number 2. Pretty clean break for everybody. Looks like the 2, Lady O'Brien, the 3, Sleepwalker, the 5 horse, Tinta Roja. Those 3 are really getting out to the front, although the 2 is kind of pulled back a little bit. Let the 3 and the 5 do the work. The 5 horse going through the opening turn, a couple lengths wide. It does look like he's going to be able to clear the 3 horse. That 11 horse, the Bomb, one of those that we thought could be a good value, Bon Monte, I think has found its way into a nice stalking position in third. The 2 horse, the favorite, down on the rail. The 10 horse, now it's trying to get involved. The 7 horse, and then you got a whole host of horses behind there. Way in the back, it looks like there's a 6 horse, but again, it's not a real big gap between the front horse and the back horse. For the distance that they're running, what are they running? They're running a mile and a mile. They're going way too fast up front, Terry, so I wouldn't expect any of those horses to be there at the end of the race. Opening half in under 47 seconds for this level of horse racing. They're coming around the turn right now. It looks like the 6 horse is coming with a lot of aggression. The 8 horse on the outside, trying to keep up with the 6 horse. The 2 horse is going to have to find its way through traffic for the win. As they around the corner, they come. The 6 horse looks like it's going to be the one that does pull away here, Terry, although the 7 horse is making up as much ground as he can and is going the best late. I think he might actually roll right on by the 6 horse, although the 6 is trying to hurt him, but he's not getting the job done. It's going to go 7, 6, 3, 2, 7, 6, 3, and 2. And the crappy thing always, Terry, is it's the next horse when either one of us gets knocked out of a pick 4.
Yeah, that's right.
Always. It happened to me yesterday or last time we were together. And then today right here, the 7 horse coming in at 9-2.
That's a nice price. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to go 7, 6. And then the 2 horse, like I said, I think the 2 horse had to wiggle its way through traffic and probably hampered its opportunity to find its way into the winner's circle there.
Yeah.
And then the 3 horse just gets by it at the end there for second place. All right, or for third place. So 7, 6, 3, 2 in race number 2. Are we off to race number 7 now, Terry?
Yes, we are.
All right, so let's try race number 7 and 8 to begin the late part of the daily double.
All right, we stretch out to 1 mile and 70 yards, all-weather track, claiming price of $16,000, $32,000 purse for fillies, 3-year-olds.
And then $170 on the all-weather. We're not doing Aqueduct today, Jose. When the championship meet ends at Gulfstream Park, we'll switch to the New York tracks for sure. But right now we're doing Aqueduct on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then on Mondays and Tuesdays we do Parks.
No, we're doing Gulfstream on Wednesday and Thursday, not Aqueduct.
I am having an old man moment. Forgive me.
That's right. That's all right.
At $170 on the synthetic, you're looking for horses that are forwardly placed. They stalk, but a good chunk still. 22, Emmett Smith, go wire to wire. There's a bonus for 1, 2, and 3. A little bit of discount for 4, 5, 6, and 7. You don't, if you have a choice, want to be 8 or out, Terry. That's bad in this race. So looking at race number 7, there is one horse that's out there. Also has a chance to be a part of the pace, but looks like one's real fast.
That's right. That 3 shows lots of speed, so we gets out of that gate okay, should get that quarter pole first. And that 3 also has a nice overlay from 3-1 to 12-1. The 9 has an overlay from 11 or almost 12-1 to 20-1. All but the 1 and 7 show par plus numbers, and all but the 5 show really nice seasonal numbers.
Everybody should be comfortable. So race shape could be hugely important here. 2, 3, 4, 9 want to be on the front. So half on the front, half on the middle back. Should be a case where everybody gets where they want to be. Although you do have the 1 horse over here, Heaven in Mind, can set the tone if it needs to. Probably will let some of these other speed horses do the work early on so that they perhaps can tire out at the end. If so, Oya Thunder, along with Puckard and Nikki Jolene, will be putting their best legs in at the end. Top total pace crew in here, Terry, is Oya Thunder, Nikki Jolene, Heaven in Mind, along with Puckard. Those 4 make up the top four. And more than 70% of the time, that group has your winner in it. Terry, does it have your winner?
Yeah, I think so. I have the 4 puckered, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 27% of the races when he brings a beaten favorite back to race again. And they added Lasix today. And then the 5 is my second choice, has a win at today's distance at Gulfstream Park, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 6, Oya Thunder, is my third choice. She has the highest last speed rating. She's actually tied with another horse, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Wonderful Venezuela. The 7 is my long shot. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning jockey, which is Paco Lopez. So no additional bets in here for me.
Yeah, we're starting with the same first 3 again here with the 4-horse Terry as my top selection too. Puckered. That one just needs to run back to its maiden win, and he'll be hard to beat. And I think getting the additional first-time Lasix will make it even harder to beat Puckered. Biera, the 5-horse class dropper, making its third start after a layoff, does have a pair of workouts between races and will be coming at the end. Number 6, Oya Thunder. It's another closer that in this race really won't be all that far off the pace. So I'll have a good shot to close them out at the wire. And then finally, I'm going to go with the 9-horse. Good at Bright Flames, a little bit of a bomb in here with a strong C-zone score, as you mentioned, Terry. He is a class dropper. If you dig through the past performances, you'll see that he has enough back races that hit par or above for this level. If she rewinds to any one of those races, Terry, she could win, and she could do so at a price and maybe even a little bit of an overlay. Only 8 races on this card today, Terry. So that means the one we're going to do next is the last one for you and me this week. So let's make it a good one.
All right, let's do that. This last race here is 5 furlongs, so they're shortening it up. It's on the turf. It's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse $91,000. And it's for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won $12,000 once other than maiden claiming starter or restricted, or which have never won 2 races or a claiming price of $25,000.
And again, it does look like it's overcast right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if it rains and this one gets moved to the Tapeta. If it runs on turf, then speed is the way. 45% go wire to wire. There is a rail bonus, 2 and 3 a penalty, 4 through 7 a bonus, 8 and out, and there are plenty of horses in here would get discounted. If it runs on the Tapeta course, then early speed, again, is to play. A little less, fewer go wire to wire. There's a rail bonus, 2 and 3 discount, 4 through 7. But the best place to be will be 8 and out if it gets moved to the Tapeta. Either way, Terry, you're going to be looking for horses with some speed in race number 8. And I think when we look at this, Terry, we're going to find that all of them have a lot of juice, or have some juice anyway.
Yeah, several show speed, and it's really hard to determine then who's going to get to that quarter pole first. The overlays, the 2 has an overlay 5-1 to 20-1. The 5 has an overlay from 5-1 to 6-1. 7 has an overlay from 4.5 to 1, 15 to 1, and the 9 shows a nice overlay from 7 to 1 to 10 to 1. Most of them show part plus numbers, and all of them show some kind of a C-zone number.
So you got numbers everywhere. And you have 11, 10 horses in a short race that could be moved if it rains. I mean, just from this just looks to me like the all button, Terry, would be the best way to play race number 8. Looking at the race shape here, you have a bunch that want to be middle forward, a few that want to be middle back. You got 3 that are Sesame Street horses that are unlike the others, the 7, the 5, and the 6 in the middle of the race. So perhaps their versatility could be useful, have some utility. Shecky Shabazz is one that likes to be forwardly placed, Terry. I mean, it's a closer, actually, that has as much early speed as anybody else. So that's your left arrow horse, essentially. But you can see here, I mean, look at all these horses in a tight mix within 5 points of each other. This race, they're going to get out, get after it. Fractions could be hot, Terry. Speed of the speeder, you better have some ability to close at the end. And Seaver, which could be off the pace, but if they all burn out, does have enough late legs to perhaps pass maybe all of the tiring rivals. Who knows? Late speed, total speed, early speed, Terry. You have 2 of them, the 9 and the 5, that are a bit better than everybody else. And then from there, it's really anybody's guess. I think that's the best way to describe this race. Anybody's guess. But you're making this your best bet, so no guesswork for you.
That's right. I'm making it my best bet. The 9 Portofino has finished in the money in 5 out of 7 career races, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. 4 is my high limit Rome. He has a good career, finishing in the money 68% of the time, winning 32% of the starts, and the distance won't be a problem, as he's finished in the money 76% of the time, winning 35% of the starts. Checky Shibaz, the 6, is my third pick. Won his last race at Gulfstream Park, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 60% of the races when he's dropping a horse off of a win. And then the 10 is my long shot. He likes Parks Racing, finishing in the money 66% of the races, winning 50% of the starts, and the distance won't be a problem as he's won 50% of his starts at this distance. And then I'm going to bet 20 to win on the 9, and I forgot to say that I'm betting a $3 daily double in the 7th, using the 4, 5, 6, and 7 with the 9 in here. So
this is in the 7th race, not.
Yeah,
I was going to say there are no more races. Then you don't have the 9, so
I know.
Thoroughly confusing one who is standing alone is usually thoroughly confused. I'm going to take the 7 horse here for me. Oh, and to answer your question, Scary Creations, yes. Tomorrow, 22 to 1, Tom and I will get together. Like I said, probably around 6:30 Eastern to discuss the Dubai World Cup. So make sure you tune in for that. Of course, they'll be recording. You can find it on our station. The best way to make sure you don't miss any of that, while you're here, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the bell so when we go live, you are notified. Of course, we'd greatly appreciate it if you also hit the share button, copy the link, and posted it on your social sites. If you're not following us or watching us on YouTube and you're on Twitter instead, please retweet. We'd greatly appreciate that so folks know where we are. Of course, follow us there. And then on Facebook and all the other social ones, Horse Race, the number 2 day, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and any other place that we've decided to put our content. I'm going to go with the 7 horse here, Gulfstream Park, race 3, the $5. He wants the 5 horse to go there for race 3, the 5, I guess. Maybe I read too much into this sometimes, Terry, but the 7 horse, Nice Sharin. You got Irad Ortiz coming on this horse. He rode the 4, the 5, and the 10 most recently, and he rode them all a couple of times. And then they're all contenders in this race. Then he gets off of those to get on the 7 horse for the very first time at 15 to 1. I got a feeling that the trainer called the agent and said, hey, I have a live one here. Otherwise, this doesn't make any sense. I would expect Irad to stay on one of those other horses that looks, at least like on paper, has a better chance to win. So I'm going with jockey intent on that one instead of trainer intent. The 6 horse, although it could be trainer's intent by going out and getting the better, the best jockey at the track too, right?
Yeah.
Check the Shabazz, the 6 horse in there, Terry, by far, and not even close, has the most back class. Doesn't need to lead the win, and a lot of these horses are just going to turn on the jets when the gates open. With all that speed, should be right off the pace and has the ability and the know-how to finish the race from off the pace. Vamos Viejo, the 10 horse, Mr. Terry. This is one of the ones that Irad got off. And then since then, the horse is dropping in class, has a crazy fast bullet workout of 4 furlongs and 46 and 1. He's ran on the turf 3 times, won 2 of them. And yet Irad gets off at under 15 to 1 again. Make it make sense for me, folks, and it will only make sense. The 7 horse wins. And then finally, Portofino, your best bet of the day, Terry, has speed, has Paco, usually a great combination. But my concern is this one has all that speed to its inside in a short race. If he can clear, then he can win. But if he doesn't go wire to wire, the horse hasn't proven he can win in any other way so far. So he is lead dependent. I think this race, you can just pull some names out of a hat and probably have a good chance to win. I'm going to do a trifecta. 5 horses over 3 horses over, I think, 6 horses or 8 horses or whatever. But you see it right here, and I think it costs $30. And I'm hoping it goes price, and we get paid big time to close our week together, Terry.
Yeah.
And that's it. Here are our full picks for the card today. So far, we have 2 races in. The 4 horse won the first race. Then, that's not our full picks. That's race number 1. The 4-horse won the first race, the 7-horse taking home that race and starting off the pick 4, Terry. Hopefully, we have only one race. Two races we disagree on the rest of the day. Like I said at the top, I feel like it can be very chalky through the card, so you're going to have to take some shots along the way, folks, to get paid today. Any final thoughts before you and I part ways for the week, Terry, and start preparing for Parks on Monday?
No, just everybody take it easy and have a good weekend. And then, I'll see you when I come back on Monday.
Again, just to reiterate, Tom and I will get together tomorrow later in the evening, early in the evening, depending upon where you are, late afternoon, early evening, for the Dubai World Cup. That should be a lot of fun. A lot of big races, deep fields over there, and not a whole lot of information. So we'll do our best to make our best picks. And Tom and I have been pretty successful of late on Foreign Fridays. Hopefully we can continue that trend. Again, big weekend this weekend. You have the Arkansas Derby. You have the Florida Derby. At least 4 horses will qualify for this year's Kentucky Derby. We'll have all of our picks, including the wagering guide, over a guaranteed tip sheet. There is a link in the description down there below. And, of course, today's free track is Sunland Park. Kind of use the link in the description so they know where you are coming from. That's it, Terry. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this weekend, whether it's the Dubai World Cup, the Arkansas Derby, hell, you're not going to even bet on horse races. You're just going to take a break. We certainly hope you have God's favor, God's grace. Everything ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. We look forward to joining you again. Have a great, terrific Terry Thursday.